Alright, so good morning again, everyone. This is Miss M. I'm your additional science teacher. Today is our fourth week of online class, so welcome. And then, before we start, I would like to apologize for the background noises that you will be hearing all throughout recording this video. Another reminder, your worksheet will be uploaded, of course, in ACN websites. If not, it will be given. So we only have like 2 more weeks. So before we go with our topic for today, I would like to review first on what we have discussed last meeting. So last meeting we discussed any idea what was the topic that we discussed last meeting? Okay, so we discussed, of course, your theory of the cell, or your so-called cell theory. At the same time, the scientists who were able to discover starting from our lenses up to the come up or the idea of cell theory, who are the scientists behind those discoveries. So we discussed that. At the same time, we also discussed your uni and multicellular organism. What again is the difference between these two? Anyone? Ideas about this? About this uni and multicellular organisms. So uni, of course, is organisms that is made out of one cell only. But when we say multi, these are the organisms that are made up of 2 or more cells. Okay, as simple as that. Uni for 1 and multi for 2 or more. Okay, so let's now go to your topic for today. Alright. Sorry, it was forward. Okay, so again, this unit is this topic is also part of your Unit 2, which is the unit of life. So, last meeting we discussed that cell. So, today, we will have a review of this one. Again, the cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. When you say structural, this one, meaning it in terms of structure or physical characteristics, your cell is the smallest. While when you say functional, meaning cells are the smallest unit that works inside our body or inside a living living organism's body. Okay, that is your cell. Structural meaning the physical attributes or physical characteristics. Functional meaning your functions or job of your body or parts of your body. The smallest functional or the smallest part that functions inside your body is your cell. So let's have a review of this one. Why do we call cell as the smallest or the functional or the structural unit of living organisms? So let's look at this one. Wait, my cursor. So this is a human being. This is us. This is a people or a person. So a person is composed of organ systems. When you say organ systems, these are groups of organs that work together a specific task. For example, in this photo, you have the digestive system. So, what again is the digestive system? Later on, you will learn that in your S2. But just to give you an idea, digestive system has the function of taking in food, meaning eating food, at the same time digest or breaking it down or making it smaller so the body can absorb it. So this is your digestive system. And then, make it smaller. These are your organ. By the way, guys, I'm just moving from the arrow from biggest to smallest so you would understand. So this is your organ. We have the liver, we have the stomach. Again, these two organs are part of this. See? Because this one you have as intestine as well at in the pancreas. But these are the organ. And then when we go smaller, you will have your tissue. Okay, these are groups of cells. Again, groups of cell to form a organ. Okay? Guys, you can never change this one. You can never have tissue first and then cell first and then organ. No. It should be in the chronological order or a step-by-step process, or it should be in order. So when we go smaller, we will go to your cellular level. Again, this is the smallest part of our body. Our body is composed of billions or millions of cells, right? So this is it. So cell, tissue, organ, and then you have your organ system, and then you have your human. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, next. Okay, so again, last meeting we discussed the cell, but we never discussed the parts of it, okay, or its parts. So for this, or for today's topic, we will talk about organelles. Organelles. So organelles are parts of a cell. So we have here, an organelle is a tiny cellular structure that performs specific functions within a cell. Organelles are embedded within the cytoplasm of eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. In the more complex eukaryotic cells, organelles are often enclosed by their own membrane. Alright, so an organelle again is a tiny, when you say tiny, it means small, cellular structure or cellular parts within or inside the cell. Okay, like for example, your house is your cell. Your house have sala, you have bedroom, you have kitchen. So those things are your organelles or the parts of your cell. So these organelles are embedded or within or sits in the cytoplasm. Later on I will discuss it. And eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells, I'm not sure if this is your first time to hear these words, but to give you an idea, eukaryotic, this one, is same as your multicellular organisms, like such as animals, humans, and plants. While your prokaryotic, this one, are your unicellular organisms such as bacteria and viruses. So I'll discuss this one later. The eukaryotic cells are often closed or enclosed by their own membrane. Alright? So that's how it is. Next. Okay. So these things, again, as I mentioned, this is the whole cell. These are your organelles. This one, this one, this one, this is small, and this one also, and this one also, and even this white are parts or the so-called organelles. The yellow one, it's a jelly-like or fluid-like, are your cytoplasm. This one. Okay. Okay. So let me read first the function of, or the function or the purpose of your organelles. Organelles maintain the life processes of the cell. What is that? What does that mean? Again, organelles maintain the life processes of the cell. When you say life processes of a cell, it means that the procedure or the things that they have to do so that the cell will continue living. That is your life processes. That's why it's called life. Because it's very important to do those things or those work or those job, because if they will not do it, the cell will suffer or the cell will might die. Again, these things inside the cell are your so-called organelles, and they have their own function. They have different jobs. They have different work. And those things are very important because they they maintain your life processes. So what are those life processes? So we have number 1, intake of nutrients. Okay, intake of nutrients. What do you mean by this? Taking in of your food. Of course, this cell is our functional unit of our cell or our body, and they also need nutrients, or they also need food. Okay, so that is one life processes. Next, movement. Yes, they move. Look at this one. Like for example, your blood cells, they have to move. Okay, so movement. You also have growth. When you say growth, meaning they become bigger, they become taller, they become stronger. Okay, that is growth. Response to stimuli. When you say response to stimuli, it's more like reaction to something. For example, like your friend posted a photo of your crush in Facebook. So you react on that photo, and that is your so-called response. Reaction is your response. The stimuli is the photo that was posted by, or the action posted by your friend. So again, response to stimuli is any reaction that we do in relation to something. Okay? So we also have exchange of gases. What are these gases? We only have 2 types of gases inside our body. What are those? So we have oxygen, of course, and your carbon dioxide. These are the specific gases inside our body. And also, since you eat food, of course, you have to remove the waste. You have your waste removal or your waste product. Okay? So you have to remove the excess water, you have to remove the waste product from the food that you eat. And also, for reproduction, for making of a new offspring, making of a new baby. That is reproduction, making of a new organism. Okay, that is your life processes. So let's now go to your next slide. So next slide. So these are the different different organelles in a cell. So later on, we will discuss, of course, what's the difference between animals and plant organelles. So we have cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex. Oh my god, where is my ribosomes? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, cell wall, chloroplast, central vacuole, and lysosomes. Okay, so these are the different organelles. So we'll discuss it one by one. Okay, so let's have first your cell membrane. Okay, from the name itself, it's a membrane. Okay, every cell is enclosed by a cell membrane. It controls the passage of materials in and out of the cell. Thin membrane that separate inside of the cell to the outside of the cell. It is partially permeable or semi-permeable. Alright, so your cell membrane is like a wall. Okay? It serves as protection for your cell. Okay, this is how it looks like. This one. You see, they are like a wall. They are made up of phospholipids. Okay, so again, every cell is enclosed, meaning the cell is covered by your cell membrane. Okay, this is how it looks like. Your cells are covered by your cell membrane. Look at this one. This one. This thing, this thin sheet is your so-called cell membrane. Okay, this one that covers the cell, the thin sheet. It's light blue. This, see, it covers the cell. That is your cell membrane. But if you enlarge it, it will look like this. So they have like phospholipids. So what does this cell membrane do? It says it is permeable or partially permeable or semi-permeable. When you say semi or partially permeable, it's like, for example, in the wall, for example, this is your wall or your cell membrane, there is a door which only allows certain individual to go inside or to go outside. Not everyone can enter, not everyone can exit. Selected. Okay, that is what you call semi-permeable or your partially permeable. Again, this cell membrane covers the cell, so meaning it encloses the cell or protects the cell and separate from inside of the cell to the outside of the cell. Again, let's go to the photo. This one. Okay, this is inside of the cell, this is outside of the cell. So the cell membrane separate them from inside to outside. The cell membrane is the one that's separating. Okay, so again, this cell membrane is the one that separate the cells from inside and out, and they are semi or partially permeable, meaning they are not allowing everything or every nutrient to go inside or go outside. They only select or they are selected. Okay? So that's how your cell membrane works. Alright, so let's go now to your nucleus. Again, how do we read this? Nucleus. Okay. Nucleus are the control center of the cell that contains DNA. DNA. Okay. This DNA are important for cell to create or to produce another cell. It is enclosed here in your DNA. Okay, enclosed by nuclear membrane. So again, it's almost like the same as cell membrane. This one, and cell membrane. The chromosomes, which are like thread-like structure that contains DNA. DNA again contains information that cells needs to live or to live. So this one, guys, is the nucleus. This whole thing is a nucleus. The covering are your so-called nuclear membrane. It's the same as the membrane that we discussed. It's also the protection of this nucleus. Inside the nucleus, you have this nucleolus. Okay? This one. And these are your chromosomes. This one. Chromosomes. Inside the chromosomes, we have the DNA. Again, where is the DNA? Here, inside the chromosomes, we have the DNA, which contains the information that we need to live or to survive. That's why your nucleus is the power or the control center. It's like the brain of our body. This one is the brain of your cell. They are the control manager, or they are the control center. Okay? So that is your nucleus. Alright. So let's go now to your cytoplasm. Take note of this. Cytoplasm are not organelle. Again, they are not organelle, but important. Why? All organelles reside or live and float around it or inside the cytoplasm. If the organelles were removed, jelly-like substance found between the cell membrane and in the nucleus, many chemical reactions happen in the cytoplasm. It contains organelles. The soluble part that would be left is called cytosol. It contains many of water with dissolved substances such as amino acid in it. Okay, so this is your cell. This is your membrane. These are your organelles. This, and this. But if you remove, except the nucleus of course. But if you remove this one, the blue like this one also, these organelles, what you have is the blue liquid here. Bluish liquid. And that is your cytoplasm, where all the organelles reside or attached or embedded. Okay, that's why they are important. Also, they have these chemicals that helps, of course, in the process of or in the life processes of the cell. That's why this cytoplasm is also important for us. Okay, so next. Again, cytoplasm is not an organelle, but it's important because all the organelles are located in the cytoplasm. Next. Mitochondria. This one like this. This organelle processes energy for a cell. It makes ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Or if you're gonna take note of this, you can write like this. ATP is equals to energy involved in cellular respiration, also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. What important about this mitochondria is that this is the so-called powerhouse. Why? Why do you think? Alright. So this cell, or this organelle rather, is involved in cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is like a process wherein the nutrients are converted into ATP or energy. In other words, mitochondria is where the energy is being made. Okay, that's why it is called powerhouse, because energy is made in this part, in this area. Again, ATP are made in this area, or energy is made in this mitochondria. That's why it is called powerhouse. Okay, next. Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex. Again, Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex. The protein packaging and transport center of the cell has incoming and outgoing vesicles. Okay. What you should know about Golgi complex is that it is the transport center of the cell. Again, transport center of the cell. When you say vesicles, these are the vesicles. It can be outgoing, meaning like this one, look. From this, and then they are removing themselves out. From Golgi complex, they are going out. That is outgoing. But when these vesicles, these are the vesicles, that's the circle one. When they attach to the Golgi complex, they are so-called ingoing or incoming. Okay? So again, transport packaging. Okay, the protein packaging in transport center is your so-called Golgi complex. Next, ribosomes. Ribosomes synthesize or synthesis proteins. Proteins is like a nutrient. Guys, protein is very important because it is needed by our DNA. That's why it's important. It's important for the nucleus because again, protein is needed by the DNA, in which the DNA is the one that has the information that we need to live. Okay, so the one that makes your protein is your ribosomes, present in the cytoplasm, present in the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Later on, you will learn about the rough ER or rough endoplasmic reticulum. No membrane present. So meaning this cell, this membrane, this organelle is not covered by a membrane. They live as is. Alright? But the important thing about this is, again, you take note of this. Making or synthesize protein. Okay. This is your endoplasmic, again, endoplasmic reticulum. Wait. So we have two types. We have the smooth and we have the rough. Okay, later on you will discuss what's the difference. Okay. Transports materials throughout the cell. So this one is the delivery guy, the delivery boy, because it transports materials throughout the cell. Produce lipids and hormones. Again, look at this one. It's like a tunnel. It's like a road. So this one is the transport materials, so like a delivery boy or a delivery guy. Produce lipids and hormones. So why do we call it smooth? As you can see, this one is smooth. Why? Because they don't have ribosomes in it. Okay? They look smooth because they don't have ribosomes in it. While in your rough, it is the same function because it's in the plasmic reticulum also. But the thing is, they are called rough because ribosomes are all over it. This one, these are your ribosomes. So it looks rough. So since ribosomes is here, they also produces proteins. The ribosomes attached here are the one produces proteins rather. Transport materials again all throughout the cell. But another function of this, they have the ribosomes, so they produce proteins. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Lysosomes. Lysosomes. So break down materials for digestion. Contains special enzymes for digestion in the cell. By the way, I forgot to mention this thing or this organelle are the organelles of an animal cell. Okay? So lysosomes are only present again in the animal cell. Only present in the animal cell. Breakdown materials for digestion contains special enzymes for digestion of the cell. These lysosomes are like the garbage collectors. They collect the cell that is not working anymore or not working properly, and then they break it down inside these lysosomes, and then they get all the nutrients from that organelle. Again, they are like garbage collectors. Break down materials for digestion and contain special enzymes for digestion in the cell. Okay? So this is how they do. They are called cell suicide. Well, it's bad for the cell, but it's good for us. Okay, again, these are only found in your animal cell. So this one first. Lysosome fuses with worn out organelle. This one, for example, this is the worn out or tired, let's say tired organelle. They will digest it, they will eat it. Then once inside, organelle is breakdown. See? And then small molecules return to the cytosol. The small nutrients. They go back to the cytosol. And then usable molecules, usable meaning you can use it, still use it, recycled to make new organelles. So the parts that can be used, they recycled it. And then same process again, work out organelle, and then go back to here again if it's worn out already. So of course, the waste product, if it's a waste product, it is being removed. Okay? So centrosome are organelles which serve as main microtubules, organizing centers for animal cells. Again, this is for animal cells. Centrosomes are organelles which serve as a main microtubule. It's like a pathway organizing centers for animal cell. Centrosomes are made from arrangement of two barrel-shaped cluster of microtubules called centrioles in a complex of proteins that help additional microtubules to form, found only in animal cells. Actually, this one also help in the nucleus. Its function is more like on the organizing of the processes of the cell. Okay, the centrosomes. Okay, so this vacuole, look at this one. It's like a storage vacuole. This is for plant, animal. So most plant cells have the large one filled with fluid, helps maintain turgor, pressure, and shape of the cell. So these vacuoles are like, again, storage, but it is bigger in plants rather, because plants stores nutrients that they use to make their own food in the vacuole. Okay, so that's your vacuole. Again, what you do need to know is that they are the storage. They are filled with fluid and maintains also the shape of the cell. Okay. Okay, so before we go to your squeeze, one moment.
Cells are the smallest living units of an organism. All cells have three things in common, no matter what type of cell they are. All cells have a cell membrane, which separates the inside of the cell from its environment, cytoplasm, which is a jelly-like fluid, and DNA, which is the cell's genetic material. There are two broad categories of cells. The first category is eukaryotic cells. They have organelles, which include the nucleus and other special parts. Eukaryotic cells are more advanced, complex cells, such as those found in plants and animals. The second category is prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus or membrane-enclosed organelles. They do have genetic material, but it's not contained within a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are always one-celled or unicellular organisms, such as bacteria. So, what are organelles? Organelle means little organ. Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform. Let's start with the nucleus, the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material. DNA dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it. Chromatin is the tangled, spread-out form of DNA found inside the nuclear membrane. When a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes. The nucleus also contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the nucleus, they will have the important job of synthesizing or making proteins. Outside the nucleus, the ribosomes and the rest of the organelles float around in cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance. Ribosomes may wander freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER. There are two types of ER. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it, and smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes attached to it. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-enclosed passageway for transporting materials, such as the proteins synthesized by ribosomes. Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum in small vesicles, where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. As proteins move through the Golgi body, they're customized into forms that the cell can use. The Golgi body does this by folding the proteins into usable shapes, or adding other materials onto them, such as lipids or carbohydrates. Vacuoles are sac-like structures that store different materials. Here, in this plant cell, the central vacuole stores water. Going back to the animal cell, you will see an organelle called a lysosome. Lysosomes are the garbage collectors that take in damaged or worn-out cell parts. They are filled with enzymes that break down this cellular debris. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for both animal and plant cells. During a process called cellular respiration, the mitochondria make ATP molecules that provide the energy for all of the cell's activities. Cells that need more energy have more mitochondria. Meanwhile, the cell maintains its shape through a cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton includes the thread-like microfilaments, which are made of protein, and microtubules, which are thin, hollow tubes. Some organisms, such as plants, that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. It's green because it has a green pigment called chlorophyll. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside of their cell membranes that shape, support, and protect the plant cell. Animal cells never have a cell wall. There are many other unique structures that only some cells have. Here are just a few. In humans, for example, the respiratory tract is lined with cells that have cilia. These are microscopic hair-like projections that can move in waves. This feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough. Another unique feature in some cells is flagella. Some bacteria have flagella. A flagellum is like a little tail that can help a cell move or propel itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell. In summary, remember, eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cells with a nucleus and membrane-enclosed organelles, while prokaryotic cells are unicellular organisms without these things. All cells have a cell membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material. And even though only plant cells have chloroplasts, both plant and animal cells have mitochondria.
Alright, so that's your cell video. And now, let's go on to your quiz. Okay, so let's again look at this one. Nucleus, lysosomes, you have your smooth and rough ER or endoplasmic reticulum, the cytoplasm, the mitochondria or mitochondrion, the cytoskeleton, the centrioles, the chromatin inside the nucleus, and your cell membrane. Okay, let's try to remember. Oh, I forgot Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex. So let's try to answer this one. Okay, give you a minute to answer. Alright, so let's check if your answers are correct. What again this one? This is your nucleolus. This is your nucleus. Okay? Let's see. Okay. This is your lysosomes. This is your smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is your rough endoplasmic reticulum. And this is your Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. These are your, what is this? Ribosomes. This is your mitochondria, centrioles, and cytoskeleton. This one is the cell membrane. Okay, or sometimes they call it plasma membrane, but it's just the same. Alright, so again, oh, don't be confused by this one. This one, and this one, those blues are your ribosomes, but the green part, this green part, the large green part is your cytoplasm. Alright. So, that ends your class for today. I hope to see you again next meeting. Thank you and goodbye everyone.